as a government in ensuring that the multitude of problems of the young people in this country are solved. We went to the country and the post-district, which is you know, we also equally raised a concern because we could not play the football in the town field, but had to go to the government secondary school, getting a school fee for us to play. You know, all of those concerns, and even the burning issues right now in SLF, which I am sure you keep that for the sport ministry. The reason why we brought you in, because the football we are talking about is not played by old people. It is played by young people, by youths. So you are directly connected, but not even indirectly. Yes, we have that, and that is the reason I said even this morning the minister and his brother were how to solve something on everlasting peace in the current field in the SLF.
Now, quickly before you leave us, of recent we have a good number of young people who are trying to make themselves useful, you know, by creating opportunities for themselves. But the problem they have now with children have not been appreciating their work. Remember, the past administration and even the current administration has been talking, you know, about the local content policy, you know, pushing our own. I don't know, how do you intend harnessing potential, and how do you intend working with line ministries to ensure that the talents we have now do not go into waste, and then, you know, all what they are bringing to the table could be appreciated by all of us?
Right. That would have been something the ministry would have written a letter to you for you to, because they are time for some of these issues to be discussed. We have written a letter to the Minister of Trade and Industry. We also copied the mayor of the city. Very shortly, you see the Ministry of Youth Affairs following the policies of the local content. If you know, you are a Libanese. If you know, you are in India. The jobs that are supposed to be done by Sierra Leone youths, very shortly we hear from us.
Yes, thank you so much. This is Mohamed the Communications Officer, Ministry of Youth. We continue with the program, and the program we are watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone, live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Well, the preparation of the country's next development plan, the poverty reduction strategy paper 4, as the current plan, the agenda for prosperity will end in 2018. Well, the preparations are already on the way. The preparation of the new plan is coordinated by the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance. Reports say 8 policy clusters have been conceived to inform the next development plan. According to government, effective consultations with line ministries, departments and agencies and development partners, including NGOs, have already begun. Well, in the studio to tell us more about the PRS before is the Deputy Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Dr. Robert Chakanda. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Now, PRSP4, let us know, according to you, programs are already in the way. Let us know, what do we expect of this particular plan as Agenda for Prosperity ends in December?
Good morning. Yes, I'm here to say good morning to the nation as well. I'm glad to inform that the government has launched the preparation of the new agenda, which is the PRSP4, but we decided to call it the National Development Plan. And then it has just been launched, and I'm here on behalf of the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, which I'm the Deputy Minister, also representing the Minister, Mrs. Nabila Tunis, which is able, and of course a very strong team of directors and technicians who are working on this. We are also partnering with NDAs, ministries, all the line ministries and the partners of the agencies to work on this document. So that's where we are right now, and that's also in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance, as you already said.
As he said into, we have 8 policy clusters. I'm sure these are the areas you intend, to give premium. So can you explain to us what these 8 policy clusters are?
Yeah, the clusters were developed out of intensive research and also in consultation with the flagship programs that the President outlined, which are also 8 in number. But we went into a lot of documents to put them together into workable elements and also policy issues. So there are 8 of them, and the first is, let me first go into the President's own ambition for the nation. We have education, which is the flagship program for development. We have issues of health. We want to have affordable health systems for the country, which really marks very good systems for the improvement of livelihoods and life. We also have issues of water that we want to work on effectively in the microeconomy. And we also address the issues of energy, agriculture, corruption, and security. Now, each of those come under one of the clusters, which is very important. And the key cluster here is education for development, which is, of course, the flagship. Even though all of us are very important to him. But under this cluster, recently the ministry, which should be only one ministry, was split into 2. One for primary and secondary education, and we have this for technical and tertiary. There's so much into it. About the free education program, all has to be under the planning and economic development ministries in terms of assisting the line ministry to achieve the objectives of the President and the objectives of the country. So within this cluster also, we know the free education is a major component, but we also know there are different components. There will be school feeding, and these are also in line with some NGOs, some NGOs who are coming to assist in the process. And then uniform and also school feeding. So in that case, we know it is a rich program. So we now go to the second cluster. The second one is other areas of development. Here we talk about health. We talk about water and sanitation. We're going to focus extensively on youth empowerment. Of the country, there is migration in that sector, and I think that should be interest to the ministry there. Then social protection is also an issue, and we want to make sure that every Sierra Leonean at least has got some space, and space is the quality of life. This actually is the quality of life issues. It's not only food sufficiency that agriculture. The Sierra Leonean will be happy to be in Sierra Leone.
Are these long-term plans or long-term policies developed by your ministry? Let us know, is it achievable within the 5 years this new administration had?
They are achievable because that's why we divulged. I should also let you know that the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development was merged with the Ministry of Finance under the previous administration. So when that happens, a lot of those components are visible. You're linking 2 very big ministries. So the component of planning was really, I should say. And now that we open it up and we are going to be very, very consultative, it's going to be owned by the nation. We are going to reach every corner of Sierra Leone. We're going to reach every sector of life. We're going to reach every trade businesses, so that it is owned by the country. We're not just going to sit at the table and draft out papers and say, overhead bridges.
No, Dr. Chakanda. Now, first it was the income poverty reduction strategy paper, after which we went to PRSP 1, PRSP 2, which is on the agenda for change, and PRSP 3, which was the agenda for prosperity. And some of the things highlighted in those documents are not actually achievable, or were not achieved. Now, what difference of this PRSP for this government to create or to make?
Thanks. So I'm happy to mention about the PRSP, the IPRSP, not visible. After the war, the focus on demobilization, decentralization, bring back refugees, excuse me, placement of refugees and sending other international refugees back to their areas. It was about this period. It was about decentralization, and much of it was achieved. All the councils came back to their districts, which was not so before, and then all the central government structures that we have created before the war and during the war actually decentralized. Schools were built, again, the police stations were built in every
state. Before you leave us, how do you to popularize these 8 policy clusters? Because people can only be part of development, they can only embrace it for themselves when they are part of it. So how do you to get it to every nook and cranny of this country?
We are going to really engage everybody, including the press. So you guys are going to be the center of it.
We wish we had enough time to engage, we
are going to every corner of this district. Tomorrow you will see us at the conference, talking to the trade unions, talking to all structures of life. We will be at the professional of life, so that we talk to this one by the nation. It's one by the people. It's developed by the nation.
You know what? We forget to have actually create a podium or platform where we can adequately engage Dr. Robert, because this has to do with all of us. Thank you so much. He is the Deputy Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Dr. Robert Chakanda. Thank you so much, Adam Hadi Mohamed Atata Mansari, from the Ministry of Youth. Well, that is how we say goodbye. It has been good morning, Sierra Leone, which came to you live on Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Many thanks to the entire production team, including producer Aunus Bangura. I am Sheku Sumaila saying goodbye.
And I am Anne-Marie Goodbye. Many thanks for watching.
Gentlemen, I give you Zeratel's 4DLTE. Buying your Zeratel data bundles just got easier. Now you can use the Zeratel customer report to buy data bundle. Whenever you see this picture, it means your data is finished. Buy your bill cards from and follow the following steps. Type WebGear LTE Zeratel URL, that is Google or Internet Explorer. Enter your password and click login. And login credentials shared through email address given during registration. Your customer details and monetary balance can be seen from home page. Click drop down menu on the top right hand corner. Click on My Plan. Subscribe app. Now subscribe to any plan of your choice by clicking the plus sign. Now enjoy Zeratel 4G LTE. You can also access this platform by clicking recharge and enter bunch of details and submit. Also note that this app can work from any smartphone, laptop, tablet with internet connection, but you can access support by data even without internet connection. Zeratel is making life easy. Zeratel. Now we own. na furi Maya a day and me na farmer so before they call person pass a book up the hill forget network but now as they don't know the room then they call the call person so bloody they connected with you from them all over the country with Orange anytime anytime and not forget you have a problem Orange the most reliable network in salon will connect you all over the country and for 2 weeks the largest coverage with the cover for 2 different sites salon on the all and the people them now from you now that's make me get for people now first class this experience Orange
number 10 you don't build enough to let's go fetch the keeper Barry to block this session I don't believe Barry team cost me la no lie something ben what they take bomba yogurt you see bomba yogurt it will make it killing it fast you see it I tell you it get protein it get vitamin they make it fierce bomba yogurt it get cool my way get to tire with the body in the ride the fine one never take something bomba yogurt
Our publications to share with you today and some introspection as to the nitty-gritty behind these stories given to you by an illustrious panel of media practitioners and social commentators. I'm Harold Williams. Let me first of all introduce my panelists, my co-panelists, Mr. Mahmoud Tim Kalbo from Global Development Magazine joins us this morning. Good morning, Mahmoud. Good morning. From Premier News paper. News group, I would say.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah.
Augustine, good morning. We have John Gegbag, who is an independent analyst, joining us this morning. John, good morning. Victor Tutu Rogers, also from Freetown Radio and of the Native Consortium, joining us this morning. Good morning, Victor.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, going straight to the headlines. We have in the Night Watch newspaper a post-mortem, so to speak, on the environmental management. President Bill talk stuff in the Night Watch newspaper, referring to yesterday's commemoration of the mudslide. The Blade newspaper, mudslide never again, another commentary on the mudslide yesterday. Yes. And, well, going on to the Times newspaper, big bubble for Adonis Aboud as NRA wades into DSTV, transnational GSTV evasion. In earlier papers, there were reports that billions were owed through GST by DSTV, managed by Adonis Aboud. In the Guardian newspaper, Waterloo Council to wage war, that is in a tax revenue collection drive. Cashel Cole eager to get money from his constituents over there. Port Times newspaper, UMC Bishop urges President Bill to tackle corruption and no budget support since we came to office, says Jacob Jusuf Safar, the Minister of Finance. So headline there, President Bill endorses the Lands Ministry following tough action against encroachers to the Western National Park. Sarah Bendu on a safety tour, we reported in the newspaper. Mohamed Kamaremba Mansouri denies being impeached in the Independent Observer, and also their Guinean student arrested with oil passports. Chief Innovator meets Bill Gates. Another story to that in the Concord Times newspaper. Sierra Leone's chief innovator
David Senge meets Bill Gates. More on that in the rest of our program. President Biya meets OGP delegation, says he's committed to transparency and accountability. Open Governance Partnership has met with and there Sierra Leone's plan big welcome as the head of state plans to visit China. Sierra Leoneans there are planning to welcome him. In the Watch newspaper, citizens blast government and civil society surrogates. For what we don't know again, is Star one day of NMA a sacred cow? Or is the Watch newspaper also crying for more heads to roll? Times newspaper, surprising, Rolls-Royce explodes Freetown. This is the first time in a long time I've seen a car featured so prominently on the front page of a newspaper. As if we don't have many more important things but maybe that's important too. We'll read about the context of that. I'm sure you're interested in that. Bill talks tough. Korma continues to manipulate the APC. All of that. The New Age newspaper. Well, gentlemen, we have said a lot about the Moteme anniversary commemoration. Just two newspapers commenting on that a little bit. So I think that's almost like water under the bridge. No, but let's go to an interesting story. Information Minister assures OGP team of transparent hearing, open governance. And there's a quote in one of the newspapers relating to the OGP, and it would be well for us to get some context on that. In the Concord Times newspaper, President Biya meets OGP, that's the Open Governance Partnership, and I think we should put some context into that by quoting the President. We are trying to settle down and find our way in a still difficult environment, but we are very much committed to accountability. We do not want to hide anything from our people. My government is people-centered, and we know we have a social contract with the people of this country, and that contract needs execution, says the President. We have started, and whatever needs to be done to earn the confidence of people will do it, he assured. So that's Open Governance Partnership. Sincerity is sincerity portrayed in what is being said in State House and what is happening in the society. Mahmoud.
Well, it's one thing to say something and it's another thing to put it in practice. And from what we've been experiencing so far, it's I can say there is some amount of sincerity, but I think they need to up the game when it comes in terms of transparency and accountability to the people of this country. I just send my eyes on what the finance minister is saying about budget support, but we still want to precisely because they are not getting budget support. Let me take on the area of the finance minister, picking up from there and trying to connect it with what the president is saying. If we are not getting budget support, then why do we need IMF at this point in time? If we have the resources to fund our own budget activities, to run our own financial activities without asking for loans, without putting unnecessary burden, or without going for necessary tool of slavery, loan, why do we need to ask for IMF and the World Bank to intervene at this point in time? Taking into consideration we've been with them for far too long, and still with all the resources that we have as countries developing in the bottom of Human Development Index. So we just need to get some amount of open commitment. Yes, the words are there, but we just want to see them being transformed into action. To that extent, I see anything like sincerity if we take that into consideration.
Okay. The Finance Minister disclosed that free education for school-going children promised by the President will be implemented when schools open in September. We can't afford to miss the implementation deadline. Mrs. Safa emphasized it will be political suicide if we do not move to implement our flagship project of free education for school-going children. We are determined to fix the broken economy left behind by the APC, Mr. Safa assured. And going further, he says that the government presently is relying totally on government resources to run the country. We rely wholly on government resources to run the country, Mr. Safa said. So it's not a good thing that we are proving self-reliant. 100 days, still 100 days after the election, and we are demonstrating some amount of resilience and self-reliance and ability to overcome, generate our own revenue, solve our own problems. Is that not a good thing?
That is a very good thing. If what he's saying is something we can go by, but you just need to ask the finance minister. You need to go for a colonial financial institution to chip in at this point in time. If you're running your own country, you really know, without without asking for no loans, then why are you still chasing one bank? And I know we sat here the last time, and then we see newspapers running the story that IMF and World Bank, it's a welcoming news according to them, because they have no clue behind these new colonial financial institutions. They are saying it's a welcoming news to be chipping in, forgetting precisely that the massive the massive fraud, if I can put it in that manner. They've been causing our nation for far too long. To me, I don't think that the first minister is very much sincere with his words there.
Okay, no budget support since we came to office. Is that an acronym that he's trying to express, or is he lamenting? I don't know if it's boasting or lamenting. Which no budget support since we came to office. Is that boasting or is that lamenting? Which of the two?
I think it's more or less boasting, because what he's trying to say is that what they are doing, that they have tried to institute fiscal discipline, meaning they've been able to take care of issues without going for loan or asking for bank overdraft to pay workers and the like. But what my colleague is saying with regards to the IMF, I don't think we should be castigating for the place. They don't have the role to play in our economy. And a couple of years back, the head of IMF in Sierra Leone, Vincent Representative, did say that we need to diversify our economy in order for us to move forward, like focus in other areas like fisheries, tourism, agriculture, in order for us to move from mining that we used to get most of our revenue from. So if this government also in their manifesto, one thing is key, they're asking for diversifying of the economy and focusing on this same sector, I think they are more or less on the same page with regards what they should do. But I think going forward, IMF can be very much key. And of course, again to your question with regards to what the minister said, I'm sure he's boasting, or two can go together, he's boasting at the same time, given the year situation on the ground, or craving the indulgence of the IMF, because from what he's saying, I think about 2 days ago, that they are mending fence with the IMF, and so far it has been very much good. But I don't think we should be casting IMF with regards tapping in development programs. Okay, you spoke something akin to economic diversification. We need to diversify our economy. Yeah, we because sort of presently royalty from the mining sector is not forthcoming as it used to in the past. The iron ore market is very much down, and also other areas. So just as like any other government, just desperate to get funded. So IMF coming in can be a very good, right? Well, I think that's good advice in an atmosphere where maybe perhaps one mobile company tax revenue to the government is more than what they get from mining industry. I mean, just one company generates more revenue for the government than mining royalties. So ask yourself, what is the point of? If we can get what we deserve, many mining companies have shut down. We've not been getting what we deserve in the past. That's how we tell you. So we've not been getting what we deserve in the past. Okay. Let me just bring to you an instance. Like the loan mining, the agreement, they're supposed to give 30% initially to government. When they started, Alpha was the Minister of Mines then. They were only paying 6%. Which tells you that we've not been getting what we deserve from the mining sector. So if we start to get what we deserve, I bet you going forward we'll do well. Okay, I did recall during the presidential debates, a lot of noise was made about addressing the leaks and the gaps and
getting maximization from our revenue. Okay, I see John enthusiastically nodding his head there. You want to come in, John?
Yes, for me what is very more important is transparency and accountability. You know, over the years we've not been seeing revenue generated, we've not heard about it, you know, but it's important now that we're hearing, you know, so the statement there is basically what the newspaper editor quoted. So it's not about him being boastful, it's about what we have been able to generate as a nation. Within the last 100 days, we have been able to find most of our projects. That is very, very much important for us as a country. Like Mahmoud Tim said, we should not always be over-reliant on these international financial institutions. You know, we should, as a country, be able to generate our own revenues so that we can be able to finance our own projects. We have so many things that we need as a country. So if we are able to generate that revenue to ensure that those things are provided for the citizens, I think it's important that we applaud the government, and they also make sure that those revenues that they are collecting, the usage is transparent so that we all can see. You know, it started well. We are publishing on a daily basis. You know, but that is forthcoming. I'm not seeing it. You know, I believe that they should continue to tell us that on a daily basis we are collecting 30 billion or 40 billion. You know, so that we the citizens can know that yes, our government can generate revenue on its own without the IMF, World Bank. You know, so there are several projects, like he said, we need to diversify the economy. You know, we have agriculture. There is massive interest in agricultural activities right now. Young people are going to agriculture, and I believe that if we can also diversify our economy
in this way, that